Well, good afternoon. It is a Thursday afternoon, and this is Talk of the Heartland right here on KCRO.
The comments and opinions of Talk of the Heartland with McKoy are not necessarily the opinions of Walnut Media USA, management, station manager Janelle Reeves, any particular denomination or religion, the mailman, the church lady, or anyone else of sound mind and body. Now, here's the Talk of the Heartland with McKoy on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
All right, good afternoon. It is the fifth day of the fifth month of the year in the 2022 year, and today is Cinco de Mayo, which I think is Independence Day, I think, for Mexico or Latino land. But anyway, hope you're out there having fun. I've already talked to a couple people that are drinking their margaritas, and Jimmy Buffett isn't even around. So enjoy your time off for whatever you can find to do it. Now, just make sure that as much time as you take off in Cinco de Mayo, and may the fourth be with you, and all that other fun stuff, give the same amount to God. There's not you got to do that. If God sees you out drinking margaritas all night and you're not in church Sunday morning or Saturday morning or whenever you go, I know it won't have any impact on your salvation, but it might put you in the slow line to get through the pearly gates. So just remember, there could be a consequence. All right, my special guests today are one of my favorite pastors, Jeff Kaiser from Harvest Church, Omaha. And you guys meet at 9 in the morning and 11, but how do I tell people how to find you? Because if you remember the first time I came, I wandered around that place for hours.
You did.
I did for about an hour, though.
You did.
I did.
At least you weren't curled up in a corner crying with your thumb in your mouth, so that was good.
I was close. I was close. Yeah, yeah.
No, we're on the south side of the Westwood Plaza near the what is now known as the formerly Dollar Theater, because they just recently closed that, but we're on the south side of the Westwood Plaza.
All right, so you're on the back side.
That's correct.
And it is very well marked once you get back there. So I didn't know there was one back there.
Right.
I mean, you don't drive behind the mall unless you're, looking for
Right.
But yeah, so you're fine. It's a nice church too.
Thank you.
And I love the way you guys worship. How do you? All right, so I walk in and I'm late. Surprise! And it's the coolest atmosphere I've ever been in. Probably 125 people.
Right.
Okay. Small room, dark, great music, and you are okay with people just praising God with hands up or kneeling on the ground, or you've got a lot of people, which would have been me, walking around, because that's what I do when I pray. And but are you a denomination?
No,
you're not part of Harvest.
No, we are part of a network called Harvest Network International. It's not a denomination. It's just a cluster of churches and parachurch ministries. I don't like that word parachurch, but anyway.
How about Apple Church?
The what?
You said parachurch. I said, how about Apple Church?
Right. Boom.
Yeah.
I need a little more coffee today, Mac. But
we got it.
Thank you.
All right. And so I think of, is it Greg Laurie?
Right. We're not affiliated.
Okay. With
right.
him. Yeah.
Right.
Well, because you're better than he is.
Well, far from that.
No, I don't know. You're pretty good at what you do. But see, you've got those roots, those radio roots. And those of us that come from radio, we have something over preacher boys. Yeah. See, right?
Got a set of pipes.
You were on CD 105, and
right.
then you were on Z92.
Right.
And were you a Jesus freak at that time?
Well, so I started at the Z in 90, and I was there for 2 years. Okay. And then in 92, 105 came and hired me to do afternoon drive. And I thought, better money, more hours.
Yeah.
Well, that was the year the Lord really started his drawing of me. And then it was in February of 93 that I came to the Lord.
I remember the story now. Something about in the studio, wasn't it?
Well, no, but it was while I was working there, and he kept me there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then eventually he closed the door and said, "You're done here." And I was at KGBI for 9.
Yeah.
And did mornings for 6.
Yeah.
And then I started traveling and
Yeah.
doing
I
a lot
didn't
of
know you
internationals.
did mornings on KGBI.
Yeah.
Well, you guys could do that together when they get done over there now. What do they got? The Wallaces? No, they've got a husband and wife team.
Oh,
over
do
there.
they?
Yeah. They're very good, in fact.
Awesome.
And, of course, your bride is sitting to your left. Her name is Sherry Kaiser.
Very good.
Oh, I won't get it wrong. I got it wrong twice today already. And so how long have you guys been together?
Well, we've been together for probably about 35 years, and
Yeah.
we've been married for 32.
2, almost 33.
Yeah.
So you were, you guys were together when he was at
Yes,
CB?
yes. I've been a rock and roll DJ's wife.
Okay.
And then he was a missionary all over the world. I was a missionary's wife, and now
An evangelist.
evangelist's wife. And now
Don't be picking on her.
I know. Thank you.
This is
Thank
the
you,
day
Mac.
this is the day we honor pastors'
That's
wives.
right.
Yeah,
And,
okay,
and
my
now
bad.
I'm a pastor's
All
wife.
right, Henry
Yeah.
Sickham. And so were you? All right, how do I put? If I get this wrong, I apologize.
That's
but
okay.
did you have a different, on a scale of 1 to 10? Did you have a different faith than he did at that time when he was doing rock and roll radio?
Yeah, he came to the Lord before I did.
Okay. All right.
And when he came to the Lord, I just thought he had lost his ever-loving mind.
Yep.
I mean, it was such a turn, and I wasn't there yet. And I don't know how he put up with it as long as he did, because I was like, I just thought he was a weirdo at that point. It
I
was
know.
like, Jesus freak, you know.
Sure. Thank you for the compliment.
Right.
So that's,
Well, but here's how it could have gone bad, and this is a true story. You know it. Jesus mugs me. I'm 50 years old. I'm 2 years into it, and I decide I want to go to seminary, and I'm just sure that's what he wants. Didn't ask him. I would have heard him laugh if I had. And my wife of 30 years said, "I'm not going to be married to a man of God," and she divorced me.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Because our family we were secular. I mean, big time all the way, everything you can imagine.
Right.
Yeah, so.
well, it's her loss, Mac. You are an amazing guy.
Well, thank
know.
you. I appreciate that. What was interesting, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you. She said that in front of a pastor, and she got upset and left the room or whatever, and I she's okay. You know,
Yeah.
it was better for both of us, to be honest with you. But my pastor looked up at me and said, "That's the best thing I've ever heard happen to somebody."
Wow.
I'm like, "What do you got, a bad sense of humor?" No, your wife just told you to pick from her or God,
Right.
right? Boy, from that moment on, it wasn't that tough.
Right.
So, yeah. All
That's
right.
cool.
So today, with both of them on, we're going to talk about being married to a pastor. And in many ways, you know, we're going to get into this in the conversation, but you kind of become a pastor too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so that's what I want to talk about today, because I always enjoy bringing family members in of a family that is serving God, because there are so many ways that you as a family can really get into serving other families and people like that. And sometimes you don't see that out of the spouses or the kids or anything. So this will be fun to have the two of you there. Now, where's Henry?
He is laying down on the floor next to me.
Is he? Okay, I can't see him. So,
he's
all right.
We'll, during the commercial break, we'll try to get him behind you so he can.
Henry, the one, yeah, see, I got all this room right here. When Picasso comes, he just sits on this chair over here and everybody
Nice.
sees him. Yeah, all right. All right, we are going to take our first break. It is a beautiful Thursday afternoon, and we thank you for being here. This is the home, the Heartland's home, the Heartland's voice, the Heartland's Christian voice. It's Talk of the Heartland on KCRO.
The ministries you listen to every day here on KCRO all have one thing in common. They're all working to bring souls to Christ. Many of the ministries that do such a fine job of sharing the word of the Lord never know the impact they have on their listeners' lives. So today, take a minute and let your favorite program know they are making a difference. If you need contact information for a specific program, you can call us here and we'd be glad to help. Thanks for listening, and God bless.
Hi, this is Pete Ricketts, Governor of Nebraska. On May 10th, Nebraskans will have a choice to make that will help define our future for generations to come. Jim Pillen is an experienced and principled leader who is ready to tackle our state's greatest challenges and fight for the good life. That's why I'm supporting Jim Pillen, and I hope you will too. Jim Pillen will continue the work that we've started to lower your taxes so you can keep more of your hard-earned paycheck. Jim will cut red tape to help our economy grow and thrive. Jim has experience creating Nebraska jobs and will make that a priority, helping Nebraska families to live the good life in our state. Jim Pillen will prioritize Nebraska families and ensure we have a strong and vibrant economy. But we need your help to make sure that Jim Pillen gets elected. Vote for lower taxes, less red tape, and more prosperity for Nebraska. Vote for Jim Pillen to be the next governor of Nebraska. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Attention Omaha parents, if you're looking for a fun, safe, affordable summer camp experience for your kids, look no further than Camp Croc. Located at Croc Center Omaha, just off the Kennedy Freeway and Q Street, Camp Croc runs weekdays from the end of May through August 5th. Kids ages 6 through 12 will enjoy all kinds of activities, from sports and character building to swimming and STEM projects. Plus, breakfast and lunch are included. Call 402-905-3500 for more details or go to omahacroc.org. That's omahakroc.org.
A lot of moms seem to be really stressed out. On the next Focus on the Family, we'll anticipate Mother's Day with a message of laughter and encouragement from Pastor Ted Cunningham. He'll share a refreshing perspective on the things that stress you out and explain the benefits of joyful laughter. That's next time on Focus on the Family with Jim Daly.
Focus on the Family, weekdays at 7:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. on KCRO, 660 a.m. in Omaha and 106.7 FM in Lincoln.
KCRO.
Good afternoon. It is the 5th day of the 5th month of the 2022nd year. And this is the Talk of the Heartland here on AM 660, FM 106.7, Alexa and Google, on your app at KCRO and all around the world at KCRO.com. And perhaps you are a visual radio listener. I know, I just threw you off, didn't I? So we have, what we do here is called a webcast. And the difference is a podcast is audio only and a webcast has pictures. But it's not TV. I don't call it TV. Those people that are on TV, they're really TV people. All we do is put a couple cameras in here, and we put the names and stuff on them. And my purpose for that is simply out of transparency. I just think you ought to see who we are and how beautiful Sherry is and how beautiful Henry is. And then there's Jeff and I. You know, we look like a couple of walruses coming off the ice. But that's why we do that. Now, here's something you can do, though. You can go to YouTube, several places on Facebook, Twitter, and you can watch this program. And it is on my Facebook. And if you go to your Facebook page or my Facebook page, you can see all this. But if you just go to YouTube and put in Mac McKoy, M-A-C-M-C-K-O-Y, remember it's M-C-K-O-Y, then we'll be live right there on YouTube, and all the shows remain there. So at any time, you can go back and see any of the other shows that we've had on. And so that's our way of just, I don't know, give you a little something extra. I just don't think that we used to do Theater of the Mind in radio, and that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. But on Christian radio, I don't want to do that. Mm. I just, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So you could change your mind. You probably would love to be a big TV preacher. I am, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, the super Mr. Pastor Kaiser.
No sprechen Sie habla.
No sprechen die Deutsch. Anyway, so that's why we do that. And so you can always, and the thing to remember is the shows are there forever. So if you're listening to this and you want, I want my mom to listen because she's a pastor's wife, or I know this lady that lives down the street and she was a pastor's wife, or whatever it is, you can go ahead and tell them, well, the shows are free and they're playback right there, and there you go. Mm-hmm. So we thank you for having you here. By the way, it's no accident that you're here. We've been praying for you. We know that God is going to talk to you through one of us. We don't know how, we don't know what, we don't know when, and we may not even realize it when we do it. But I hope you do, because God has put you in front of this program, whether it's live now or 10 years from now, for a reason. And you know he can reveal himself in any way that he wants. My favorite Macism on my card is coincidence is God's way of revealing himself. And that's what God does, I think, on this program. And whether it's an itty-bitty prayer that he takes care of for you or it's a big whopping one, we just appreciate you taking the time to listen today here to AM 660 and FM 106.7 and all around the world at kcro.com. All right, I have Sherry Kaiser in the studio with me. I have her husband, Jeff, who is the pastor of Harvest Church Omaha, which is on the backside of behind the south of Center and just west of 120th. It's a backside of, what's that mall?
Westwood Plaza.
Westwood Plaza. And they have a backside. It's not just bad, it's not the door. Hello, can I come in? What's the word? But it's open every Sunday, 9 a.m. for their first service and 11 for their second. Is there any difference between the two? I mean, is one traditional or?
Nope.
All the
We just invite, make sure Jesus shows up and people encounter him and his love and his presence.
And they do there too. What's the guitar player that I like? The big guy.
Joel.
Joel.
He's still there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love Joel.
He's got a new electric guitar, and he just kind of takes off with it. You'd love it.
Oh, that's what he was doing the day I was there. I'm going, hey, this is a neat song. It's 14 minutes long. But, yeah, it's good. And I like the who was the gentleman? I should know their name, but I really like the gentleman whose wife plays the piano.
Dave.
Right.
Dave was so nice to me.
Yeah.
Came up and introduced himself, and I'm just sitting there handing out furniture. So,
Yes, you were.
Sherry's really the guest today. I had to go through Jeff to get her here, and Henry just comes along, and Henry is, of course, Henry the super dog. And so, when your husband, okay, how long had you been together when he came home and said, I think this guy Jesus is coming for me?
Oh, we were probably married for 3 to 4 years.
Oh, wow. And had you got kids yet?
Oh, I had kids
Okay.
coming into it, so
All right.
there was kids.
And what did they think of this?
They also thought
Crazy.
way
Were
crazy.
you church going people at all or anything like that?
Not really, maybe at Easter or Christmas once in a while, but
Well, yeah.
not really.
Creasters, right?
Yeah, Creasters.
Yeah, those Catholic churches, they just fill up. I swear they build them that big just for Easter and Christmas. So, did you? But this could be a bad ending. Jeff, don't listen. Did you think about bailing? I mean,
I did. I thought that. I really did. I thought that I didn't think this was the thing that I could reconcile with my lifestyle at all, and when he came to the Lord, he came so radically, and it was so, he was embracing the gifts and everything right out of the gate, and I was like, oh boy. And I thought, I got to figure out how to get out of this. So I did think about it. But the Lord got a hold of me in the meantime, and it was just a beautiful thing then.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing then.
So, was yours a microwave or a crock pot, Jeff?
Coming to the Lord?
Yeah.
I would say it was actually a combination of both.
Okay.
Because in 92 is when I really felt like the Lord started drawing me. I remember having a conversation with her saying, hey, we should think about going to church. What's an hour on Sunday? Not having a clue about what was in store.
Oh.
And that went on for 6. So we decided the first Sunday of 93, we'd start going to church.
Okay.
And I remember that Sunday too, because we were there, and this church, I was used to Catholic churches. This church, these people were raising their hands and they were carrying on, and I'm about ready to say to Jeff, what is going on? And I look over, and he's got tears coming down his eyes. So I just did what any wife would do at that point. It's like, get a hold of yourself. What is wrong with you?
Oh, I thought maybe you got a little napkin out and took his tears away or something like that. Well, what do you remember where you went? Well, of course you will. Well, what's the first place you went?
The first church we went to was Trinity out on 156th and Dodge. It's called Lifegate now. It was Trinity then.
Okay, yeah, it's on the south side of the road.
Right.
And
Huge church.
and they were doing all the
Well, they were just praising the Lord with everything they had. You know,
All right.
it was just, and I wasn't used to that. I was just used
Well, you're
to.
Catholic.
I was Catholic. I was like, that's irreverent,
Right.
And,
Yep.
people were just really demonstrative about everything, and I didn't get it then. But Jeff
do
did.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a radio announcer, as a disc jockey, which I was for years, and so were you, you kind of have that in you. And when the Lord grabs a hold of it, it's like he's almost giving you some of the skills you already need to just whoop it up.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Well, she cries at Hallmark commercials. Me,
I do too. You want to fight about it?
I was not quite wired like that, but it felt like is the Lord just drawing me. And I was undone. I just couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
And it just felt like God was coming close, and that went on for a month. And then the deep struggle inside began.
Well, hold on. Time out. A month?
Every Sunday.
So you went to church every Sunday in January of 93.
Correct.
And by the end of January, something happened.
Then the other struggle began. I thought, if I give my life to the Lord, he's going to send me to Africa to be a missionary.
I know.
I don't want to do that.
I know.
And that wrestle went on. That was another 3 or 4 weeks, but it was at the end of February. It was a Sunday night, and it was 9:40 at night. I'll never forget it because I got up. She was upstairs. I drew a line in the carpet with my foot, and I stood there and I started confessing my sins. Started with the 10 Commandments, and then, oddly enough, all these other things started coming into my remembrance. Then when all that had come through, every lie, everything I'd done, said, thought, I just confessed it. And then it was like, Lord, from the time I was a little boy, I've always believed that you were born of a virgin, that you came and you died on the cross and you rose from the dead on the third day. I've always believed that. But listen, if you'll just come and live in me, my life is yours to do with whatever you want, even if I have to go to Africa to be a missionary. But tonight, I step off the throne of my life, and you are the Lord. And I did. I never shed a tear. I didn't hear angels sing.
Yeah.
All I know is when I got up the next morning, everything was different.
Yep.
My language
Yeah.
that was the first thing. And I was so arrogant, Mac.
I know. I was too.
And it just
Very self-righteous.
Oh man, he just gave me a love for people.
Yeah.
And I hungered for the word. I didn't even understand it, but I would just pour over it,
You and I have a lot of the same story, and maybe everybody does. I don't know, but my Bible sat on the shelf. So if and when the preacher would ever stop by, I could say, "Oh yeah, there's my Bible," but it was never open.
Right.
Now, if you could see that Bible, I used it for the first 3 years, and it doesn't even stay together anymore.
Right.
But yeah, that feeling. So as you're watching him do this, Sherry, you're calling divorce lawyers out of the yellow pages, or calling your mother and say, "Oh, Mom."
I didn't quite get that far, but I mean, my mind went there. It was like, he is not the same guy I married, and he wasn't. I mean, when he said it was a radical change, it was, because we had a DJ business. We used to work bars and that type of thing, and we had a library of 700.
Oh yeah.
800 CDs.
I came home from work one day and he has thrown a bunch of them out, and I'm just having
garbage.
a fit.
They were garbage.
And he's AC/DC and things like that. He just threw them out. He says it's garbage. I said, but don't throw them away. Give them to somebody or something. He said, I don't want anybody listening to that.
Most of it was really like hard metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Z92.
Yeah.
Right.
And his language changed literally overnight.
So from bad words every once in a while to now just clean, or what do you mean by that?
He used to talk like a truck driver. I mean, he honestly did. And it was like, just in fact, so much that I thought, it was fake. It was like, who are you? Why are you doing that? Why are you talking like that?
My guest today is Jeff and Sherry Kaiser from Harvest Church Omaha. Services at 9 and 11, and you can get them online at
HarvestChurchOmaha.org.
Okay, good. All right, so we're talking about, here's Jeff, and I don't know if you know this, but he was with CD 105 for years, Z92 for years, and all of a sudden the Lord starts working on him, and I hope you heard the story, because it just all of a sudden there it was. And maybe that's what brings me so close to you again, because I had the same thing. Mm-hmm. And did you also have that feeling? I can't say no. I don't even know how to say no anymore.
Right.
I mean, I don't feel like I had a choice.
Right.
Yeah, so. All right, well, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your wife. So how old were the kids at that time?
This was another difficult thing. They were in high school.
Okay.
Young junior high and high school, and they,
No.
It was no.
But Dad was cool when he was on the radio, right?
Well, when he was on CD 105 and Z92 he was, but not when he was on KGBI.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't cool anymore.
So they didn't listen to him?
Not really, no.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How are they now?
We have one that just came to the Lord,
Okay.
and, the Lord's going to bring the other two eventually. But,
Eventually he will.
Yeah.
It's their time, not
You
yours.
and your household.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, here's my question. And don't you stop her from answering this, Jeffrey. I want you to, if you can, and I'm telling you beforehand so you can think about it.
Okay.
I want to know the moment that you realized that what a pastor's wife had to do in supporting their husband.
Okay.
Because I know it's different than the guy who's the CEO of Omaha Mutual. Mm-hmm. When you're a pastor's spouse. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
It is Jeff and it's Sherry, and their last name is Kaiser, and it's Harvest Church Omaha. And the leader of the pack is here. His name's Henry. And they all go to church at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and we hope to see you there sometime. I'm Mac McKoy. This is the Talk of the Heartland here on KCRO.
Omaha Mayor Gene Stother.
The attacks against Brett Lindstrom just aren't true. Brett Lindstrom is the only actual proven tax cutter for governor. His record on taxes is clear. Property tax cuts, income tax cuts, Social Security tax cuts, together totaling more than $1 billion in tax cuts for Nebraska families. The only proven tax cutter, and finally a governor Omaha can count on. That's why I'm endorsing my good friend Brett Lindstrom for governor.
Traveling all over the state, what I hear from folks is that they're ready for new conservative leadership. I think that's why we've got the momentum, because we've made this campaign a conversation about who has the energy and proven record of delivering for Nebraska families. The other guys aren't real happy about it and have been lashing out, and that might be the best endorsement I could ever get. When you vote, please remember, I won't answer to anyone but you.
Brett Lindstrom, a new generation of leadership and Nebraska's only proven tax cutter for governor. Paid for by friends of Brett Lindstrom.
Detours involve negative experiences that God either creates or lets somebody else create.
Dr. Tony Evans talks about the frustration of realizing some of life's toughest obstacles are put there by the Lord.
It's easy to get mad at God in a trial, when actually the trial is the occasion to draw near to God.
Discovering destiny in the midst of detours. This week on The Alternative with Dr. Tony Evans.
Tony Evans, weekday evenings at 7:30 on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so badly, he ended up in the emergency room and spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy about telling people not to smoke around your kids.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, this is Mac from Talk of the Heartland, and I want to tell you thanks for listening. I love this job, and I couldn't do it without you. And there's many ways to listen to us. You have Facebook. You have KCRO.com. Plus, you've got our, if I may say, world-famous app on your phone that you can hear us anytime, fully digital. And don't forget smart speakers like Alexa or Google. We just want you to listen. And no matter where you are when you're listening, at home, at work, or in the car, remember to write it down. We are AM 660 and 106.7 KCRO. And we want to hear what you think about what we do. So call me at 1-402-883-9400. 819-2666, or email me, Mac, like macaroni, Mac at kcro.com.
Sweet hour of prayer.
Greetings, 660 KCR listeners. This is Pastor Brian Page of the Pleasant Green Baptist Church here in Omaha, Nebraska, where we are a Christ-centered ministry that ministers to all God's people. Hey, we're coming to you with great joy and excitement to let you know that the Pleasant Green Baptist Church will be airing the Sweet Hour of Prayer broadcast every Sunday from 9 to 9:30 a.m. on 660 KCRO. Please tune in to the show and be blessed.
I'm Joyce Meyer, and I want to encourage you to listen to Enjoying Everyday Life Monday through Friday right here on this station. My program is full of practical biblical teaching that will build your faith and equip you to enjoy your life. I love to share God's Word with you. It's His Word that allows us to have victory in this life right now. His Word sets us free. Be sure to listen to Enjoying Everyday Life right here daily so you can be blessed and encouraged.
5:45 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 10 p.m. on KCRO.
Now your forecast for KCRO for Omaha, Council Bluffs, and Lincoln. Overcast skies tonight with scattered thunderstorms likely. Lows around 48. Winds out of the northeast, 8 to 15 miles per hour. High of 66 tomorrow. Partly cloudy. Partly cloudy again tomorrow night. Lows level off around 48. Warmer Saturday and Sunday with highs in the low 70s. Chance for scattered storms Sunday. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley on KCRO. Right now 55.
100 years KCRO.
It's the 5th day of May in the Lord's year 2022, and I'm Matt McKoy, and this is the Talk of the Heartland here on AM 660, 106.7 in Lincoln and all around the world at kcro.com. And we thank you for spending your moments or day or your drive home with us today. This reminder, at 5 o'clock on Thursdays, one of my favorite dudes, Van Deed, and that's a first name and a last name. V-A-N and D-E-E-D, and I remember that as Dog, Elephant, Elephant Boy. And now he thinks I call him Elephant Boy, but he doesn't care. He's got a great show. It's called The Journey, and he talks to people not only about the journey they've been on with Christ, but also very successful business people and things like that here in town. You'll love the show. It's 5 o'clock every single Thursday right here on KCRO. All right, my guests today are Jeff and Sherry Kaiser. They are with Harvest Church Omaha. That's on the backside of
Westwood Plaza.
I should write that down, shouldn't I? Westwood Plaza, and services are at 9 and 11 a.m. on Sundays. So I ask you a question, Sherry, and I don't know if I asked it right, but there had to be a moment in your marriage, in your relationship with Jeff, that you realized, I got to be a pastor's wife. You know, you remember when that might have been?
Yes, I forgot to think about it, though, because we were talking during the break. But I do, well, I really wasn't a pastor's wife for the longest time because, as I said, he was a missionary for years. So I kind of got a little taste of being married to somebody who's committed to their job. And he'd go to China and be gone for 6 weeks, teaching in underground seminaries. He would go to India, Africa. He was gone
all the time.
All the time. So, and I was in the corporate world, and I worked and so on. So I got a chance, but at a distance, to be missionary's wife, you know. But then when he got home and he was given a church, probably right then, I figured it out. I thought, oh, dear. And there's no university for a pastor's wife, so there's really no place to go to learn. And the pastor's wives, I've always known, I mean, they were pillars of the community. I mean, Nancy Murdoch's and Mindy Peterson and Sharon Harris. I mean, these were just amazing people in the community. And I thought, oh, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know if I can do that. But you've been to our church, Mac. You've seen it. We have such a loving church.
Yeah, you really do.
That kind of what I know how to do, I'm able to do there. That's just love on people.
Yeah.
And it's not been a tough transition, probably because of the church. They're wonderful, and they know I'm not Ruth Graham. I know I'm not Ruth Graham.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of being me and just taking one day at a time, and that's kind of my answer.
But that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be fake. You don't want to put a thing on when you're out, and then when you get home, you're different.
Yeah.
You're Sherry Kaiser,
That's
and that's
right.
who God intended you to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you've just reminded me of, though? It's too bad that there can't be an anonymous, well, not anonymous, but a private group that would be just parents' wives, pastors' wives, Polly want a cracker, and you guys could just get together.
Sounds like a support group.
Well, that's what I'm calling it. It's Al-Anon.
Yeah.
You know, it's Al-Anon for pastors' wives, but that'd be a tough thing too, because you know you're.
Yeah.
Anyway, get a good counselor. That's what I'd recommend. Yeah, because I can't. I mean, I get him a couple hours a month, and then I have to call my therapist on the way home. And now it rings, and I say hello. Yeah. Oh, you had Jeff on again, didn't you? No, I'm kidding. I love you. I'm kidding. So what's been the happiest moment as a pastor's wife?
The happiest moment?
The happiest.
Oh, my gosh.
Was it the first time he married somebody? Was it when your son came to the Lord?
That was a pretty happy time.
Yeah.
I think with Jeff, I mean, people at our church will tell you, I mean, it's hard not to be happy with him, even if he wasn't my husband, just the fact that he's our pastor.
Yeah.
Because he's got, you know, like you, some dad jokes and things like that, you know, that he does. And but he's just, he's just a really... just a cool person to be around, and so that part is pretty easy. I mean, I can't really figure out a happiest one. I'll think of it later.
That's okay.
I'll call you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, because I don't give questions out front. So,
no kidding.
Yeah. No.
I know. On the way, I was saying, "What do you think? What's he going to ask?"
Yeah.
Goes,
No, I don't. My next question is based on your last answer, and you know who taught me that in a most amazing moment I had with Walter Cronkite.
Oh wow!
I was a Walter Cronkite freak, and my parents had a lot of pull, and so when he was in Omaha at the CBS affiliate, which I think. It wasn't who it is now. It's not 5 now. It's 5 now. But anyway, my dad made arrangements for us to stop by the station, and I walked in, and holy crud.
Oh, wow.
It could have been Captain Kangaroo, and I would have been more excited.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said to me, so what do you want to do? Because I was a journalist at that time. I never thought I'd play music. I was going to be a news director, you know. And he said, well, what do you like to do on the radio? And I said, well, I like to ask questions. And he said, well, do you write down the questions? And the guy standing next to him, which I don't remember who he was, said, oh, yeah, you got to always write out the questions for all the interviews you do. And Walter Cronkite looked at me and said, you never write down the questions because your next question is based on their last answer.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
This is Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
Sound more like Richard Nixon. So, what... You don't have to answer things I ask you because I'm just thinking out loud. But where have been, can you recall a moment in which you found yourself defending the faith like your husband does all the time as a missionary?
I have to do it with my children that are not saved yet all the time. You know, it's like, you know, so I do defend. And when I say defend my faith is because they believe in God but they have not surrendered to, and He's made Him their Lord and Savior, and they don't understand that part of it. And it's sometimes it's a sign of weakness, they think, because you know Christians are weak. They got to have something to lean on and that type of thing.
I get it.
Yeah. So you're in a position sometimes where even with your own family. You know, you have people in your family that you have to defend the faith to first and foremost because they're all looking out for you. Like you're not these sheep gonna fall off a cliff or something. Yeah.
I got a friend in Dallas, Texas, Matt Chandler, and he did a sermon the other day. Just made me laugh. Almost fell off the pew. He said, "And you remember, sheep bite."
That's he says that all the time.
Do you? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, sheep bite. Yeah. And what I find, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but everybody's got this idea that Jesus is 6'7", blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, wears a completely spotless white robe and a peace sign. And that's kind of what I thought of him too until I read John 8. And then if you read, and you know this, if you read John 8, when Jesus is talking to the Pharisees, the kind of way we talk to the Pharisees if they accused us of what they did, Jesus was no pushover.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
He came at you hard. But, yeah, when people used to ask me, Sherry, well, are you a Christian? No, I'm Episcopalian. And I didn't say it as a joke.
Yeah.
I was not going to be a Christian. And I said exactly what you people are weird. You know, you're all giving up and you're all weepy and everything and always happy. And then the Holy Spirit hits you and you kind of figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time, or do you remember a time, Sherry, that you disagreed with him on something that he was preaching on?
No, usually where I'm critical is when we're speaking of the dad jokes. But
Thank you.
we're not.
Thanks, Mac.
We're not
Thank you.
always at the
I
same.
finally feel vindicated.
Yeah, good. You and me, buddy. There you go, yeah.
But we're not always at the same place at the same time.
Well, good.
And I think that's kind of the way it is in life. And
Yeah.
you know, and we keep each other. I think we keep each other growing because we have different views. So we're not always at the same
Well,
place at the same time.
If two people always agree, one of us isn't necessary, and that usually means me or whoever says that. So, yeah, all right. Well, do you want to open up over here? You're just being such a good boy. How about a dad joke?
Oh no!
You got a good dad joke that you can think of?
I do.
Well, I want to hear it when we get back.
Perfect.
We'll have time. All right, my guest today is Jeff and Sherry Kaiser from Harvest Church in Omaha. They're at Westwood Plaza.
Yes.
Ooh.
Good.
9 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. And if you just are kind of like me and you like to visit different churches, you got to put that one on your list. I promise you, you will be blessed. And they're together again every Sunday, 9 at 11, and it's called Harvest Church Omaha. And you heard about it here on KCRO.
Than a pantry. At Heartland Hope Mission, we help working poor families become self-sufficient. Many working families are struggling right now with rising food and gas costs. You can help provide these working families with food, clothing, hygiene items, and diapers by hosting a food or hygiene drive, volunteering, or donating at heartlandhopemission.org. Heartland Hope, more than a pantry.
Hi, this is Mac McKoy from KCRO and Boomer Radio, and when I decided to move back home to Omaha last year, I searched for the perfect movers. You see, I'm a little particular. I need movers who value my furniture. I found and hired a company that shared my same care and values for those very personal items of ours. I chose Black Belt Movers, a locally owned Omaha company who offered me professional, honest, affordable relocation services. The team at Black Belt Movers, and they're like ninjas, wrapped, packed, loaded, and unloaded everything perfectly. How do I know it was perfect? Not a scratch, not a dent, and not one single item was lost. Choosing Black Belt Movers was a win-win-win decision for myself and my family. So whether you are moving across town or across the Midwest, Google Black Belt Movers and schedule your perfect moving experience today. And thanks for choosing Black Belt Movers.
Everything Satan does is counterfeit. And just as the ministry of God, so you will watch and see Satan trying to do what God does so that he can get the worship that he desires.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah for his series Signs next time on Turning Point.
Turning Point, weekday mornings at 9 on KCRO, 660 AM in Omaha and 106.7 FM in Lincoln.
Join 94.5 Boomer at Feel the Freedom, a fundraiser for Chariots for Hope, helping those in need with the transformative gift of transportation. It's happening Thursday, May 12th at Peter Fink's American Muscle Car Museum. Support an incredible cause and feast your eyes on dozens of one-of-a-kind automotive masterpieces. Join MC Julie Cornell and honorary chair Van Deep for an evening of food, drinks, fun, and music from acclaimed country music star Cafe Anderson. Powered by H&H Landscape. Get tickets at chariotsforhope.org.
Hey, do you ever feel crushed for time? Boy, sometimes it's like that every day. There is just so much that needs to get done. Hey, this is Pastor Delmer Austin with Rise Up. Our program is every Saturday morning on KCRO from 9 till 10 o'clock in the morning. We have been talking about the gift of the Sabbath. We are going to be talking next week about holidays and holy days. Join us next Saturday for Rise Up.
Christian Voice, KCRO.
It's 10 minutes before the top. The top is 5 o'clock, and Van Deed with The Journey here every Thursday at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And you'll meet some of the greatest people in our community. And you'll not only hear the journey of their faith walk, but you'll hear the journey of their business success and failures. It's a great show. It's on every Thursday here at 5 on KCRO. My guests today are Jeff and Sherry Kaiser. And Jeff and Sherry are, well, I guess he's the pastor.
He's the pastor.
You're glad of that.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff and Sherry Kaiser. Jeff is the pastor at Harvest Church Omaha, Westwood One Plaza, and Westwood One?
Well, that was a radio network.
I know. Westwood Hills.
Westwood, just Westwood Plaza.
Oh, Westwood Plaza. Okay. 9 o'clock in the morning, and embarrass me. 9 o'clock in the morning. I can't, like, I don't do that myself. 9 o'clock in the morning on Sundays, and then at 11 o'clock. And I always, I'm a church mutt. And what I mean by that is I love to visit different churches. It's like going to a different place every Saturday or Sunday and get a new chili dog. I mean, I really enjoy that. In fact, I have yet to go to a church here in the Omaha area that I have not really enjoyed, and then I can come on the radio and tell you about it. And Harvest is one of those. But it's hard for me to explain what it is because it's not liturgy and it's not hymns, but it's not rock and roll. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful service, and I hope you check it out sometime. Do you take Henry the Wonder Dog to church with you?
He's been there. I actually used him in a sermon illustration once.
Oh, I got to hear about this. What was that? Did you embarrass the poor little boy?
Oh, no. He was the rock star.
He was the rock star?
Big time. There was a little girl that was really afraid of dogs, and the mom was shocked because she found her just climbing all over Henry.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So she's maybe afraid of dogs, but not Henry.
Not Henry. Well, that's, it's like me when I go up to a dog, they just sense that I'm an okay guy. I've learned to let them smell my hand and stuff first.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes a big difference, I think. All right. So Jeff and Sherry are my guests, and you were going to tell a dad joke.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. So
now, hold on. What is the definition of a dad joke? Because I've only heard that for a couple of years.
Yeah, I just think.
I think it's because the D, one of the loops, it's bad joke. But they call
That's
it
not
bad
true.
Oh,
like jokes like your dad would say, like corny jokes.
My dad told great jokes.
Yeah.
I tell great jokes. I have a T-shirt that says "Relax, I'm hilarious."
Well, who bought that for you?
I did.
He did.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't win that at Goodwill.
No.
All right, so tell me a dad joke.
All right.
Is this long?
I'm going to give you the concise.
No, we've got about 3 minutes, so you go ahead. All right.
All right, so it's a little country church. The whole town's in church waiting for the pastor to come out. And all of a sudden there's a big bang. There's black smoke, smell of sulfur, and standing right in the middle of the church is Satan himself. People are scrambling for exits. Everybody clears out, except for one little old man. He's just sitting there. He's just reading his Bible. This has Satan a little bit confused, and he goes over and starts yelling at him. Do you know who I am? Guy looks up. I sure do, and goes back to reading his Bible. Well, Satan's a little, like he doesn't understand it, so he yells at him even louder. And you're not afraid of me? And the guy looks up. Sure ain't. Goes back to reading his Bible. Now Satan's really confused by this, and he really lets him have it. Well, if you know who I am and you're not afraid, why is this? The man gently closes his Bible and looks up and says, because I've been married to your sister for the last 40 years.
Yes. Okay.
See?
Well, hold on. Because I have to admit, now I know where I got that joke. No, seriously. I have been telling that joke for Since the last time you were here, probably.
Okay.
Because it's clean.
Yes.
And nobody should get upset about it unless, of course, well, anyway, that wouldn't matter. But, yeah, that's a great joke. That's a great joke.
I have a talking dog joke, but I'll save that for the next time.
Oh, no, go ahead. You've got 26 seconds.
Well, it's going to take probably 2 minutes.
It's not that funny.
It is hilarious.
No, it's not.
Okay, now you got to tell it. I'll make time.
Okay, so guy responds to an ad about a talking dog for sale. And he shows up at this house and he says, "You the guy with the talking dog?" "Yeah, he's out back. Follow me." So he goes back and he sees this ordinary mutt just laying there. And the guy says, "That's a talking dog?" The dog gets up and says, "Yes, I am. I'm the talking dog." The guy goes, "Oh my goodness, that is amazing." He says, "Gosh, what is your story?" And the dog says, "Well, if you can imagine, when they found out I could talk, well, the CIA came and they recruited me to be a spy. I'm all over the world in secret meetings. Well, that was fun for a while, but then I wanted to settle down, have a litter of pups, so I got a job at the airport, sniffing out drugs and bombs. Next thing you know, they're hanging all these medals around my neck for doing this. Well, these days I just kind of hang out." And the guy says, "Oh my goodness, this is absolutely incredible." And he says to the man, "How much you want for him?" The guy says, $25.
Oh.
"Are you kidding? $25? That it?" And the guy says, "Yeah, he's such a liar. He's never done any of those things."
Gee, man. That I was not expecting. That's a funny joke.
Thank you, Mac. Thank
Mac.
you.
Was it funny or now? Still
She
bad?
she was kicking me under the table.
I've heard it like 45 times. It doesn't get any funnier.
I know how that goes. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming here today. It's a pleasure meeting
Thank
you
you,
for
Mac.
the second time.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you're always welcome here. Thanks for returning my call this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was early. What, like 6 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm usually up by 5:30.
Oh, yeah,
so.
okay. And Henry, thank you.
Buddy.
All right.
Oh, he's out.
Well, and as I always like to tell people, I'll be back in 22 hours, but if I get lost, you can find me. Just follow Jesus, because that's where I'm at. It's KCRO on a Thursday, heading home. Thanks for listening.